If Catholicism is false, then how do you explain all the miracles inside of Catholicism?
Like what?
Like the Marian apparitions, for example.
Oh, you mean like when people claimed that the Virgin Mary appeared to them?
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple questions on that. How did they know it was Mary?
What do you mean?
How did they know it was Mary?
Well, because she looked like Mary.
What you mean is it looked like a random woman because no one has any idea what Mary actually looked like.
Well, obviously she was the Virgin Mary.
Okay, so again, no one knows what Mary looked like, and so it is impossible to actually claim that that is a good supportive evidence that this was Mary who was appearing to people, because saying it looked like Mary when you don't actually have that thing to compare it to, you have no idea if that looked like Mary or if it looked like just a random woman.
Well, during one of the apparitions, she literally said, "I am the Immaculate Conception."
Oh, interesting. So it claimed to be Mary by claiming something that is unbiblical and antichrist.
The Immaculate Conception is biblical.
No, the Bible actually expressively says that only God is without sin. It says that there is no one good but God alone, for all have sinned and have fallen short of the glory of God.
Well, obviously there's exceptions to that, like Jesus.
I swear, if I had a nickel for every single time a Catholic would make that argument when we're talking about this, I would never have to work again in my life.
What do you mean?
I just said that everyone has sinned and has fallen short of the glory of God.
Right, but there are exceptions to that, like Jesus, who did not sin.
That's because Jesus is God.
Oh.
See, every time that you try to make exceptions for your doctrine in the Bible, you are unintentionally committing a very bad heresy.
But what about when the angel says that she's full of grace?
Well, it actually doesn't say that because it's just a multi-layered bad Latin translation that brought full of grace to begin with. Whenever you actually translate it just from Greek into English, it says greetings favored one, that she was favored for the task of bringing the Messiah into the world. Now, Stephen, on the other hand, who is actually called full of grace, why does no Catholic claim that he was without sin or that he was immaculately conceived?
Well, yeah, no Catholic thinks that he was.
Of course, that means that you guys use a really bad cherry picking to try to support your bad doctrine using the Bible by taking things out of context and trying to make them say something that they obviously do not say.
Okay, but back to the apparitions, which show that that doctrine is true.
No, what that shows is that the one that was appearing to people was not Mary.
What do you mean?
If something claimed to be Mary and appeared to people and taught them something that is in opposition to the Bible, then that thing was not sent from God.
Mary led thousands of people to Christianity.
No, Mary led thousands of people to Catholicism and taught them how to pray to her.
Yeah, she intercedes on our behalf.
No, only Jesus does that. Mary is dead, so praying to her is a very vile sin.
Praying just means to ask.
So it means to inquire?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the exact terminology used in Deuteronomy 18 that says that if you inquire of the dead, you need to be put to death because that is an abomination.
But Mary isn't dead.
She died, so she is dead until the resurrection, just like every other Christian.
No, we believe that Mary was bodily assumed into heaven.
Right, your church started teaching that in 1950 to try to make up for the fact that they were committing necromancy and trying to support it in a way that tried to make it where it was no longer necromancy. Revelation 12 does not at all talk about Mary being bodily assumed in any way. It does not even talk about Mary. That's about Israel.
Regardless, they're alive in heaven. Jesus is the God of the living.
Only when you take that verse out of context, but no, the Bible actually explicitly says that Jesus is the God of the living and of the dead.
Okay, so then how do you explain the apparitions?
The descriptions of her claimed that she was appearing in light, correct?
Yeah, she was glowing in glory.
And she came to deliver a message.
Yes.
Do you know what the biblical term for messenger is?
No.
It's angel. In Greek, it's angelos, and in Hebrew, it's malach.
Okay.
So in 2 Corinthians 11:14, whenever it's warning people very specifically that Satan can appear as an angel of light.
So you're saying that Mary is Satan?
No, I'm saying that Satan appeared to people and claimed to be Mary, pretended to be Mary.
I can't believe that you would speak of the Holy Mother that way. That's blasphemy.
Blasphemy can only be applied to God, and so if you think that's blasphemy against Mary, then that means that Mary is your God. But furthermore, I'm not saying that Mary is Satan. I'm saying that the thing that appeared to people pretending to be Mary was Satan, that he was pretending that so that he could lead people astray.
So you don't deny the apparitions happened?
I know that they were not Mary. I think it was Satan, because Mary is dead, and so she is dead until the resurrection, just like every other Christian who is waiting for that resurrection unto eternal life. Now, the problem is that what you're doing is that you're claiming that it was Mary who came back and taught people to pray to her, that taught people that she was sinless, that taught these things that the Bible specifically condemns.
I'll pray a rosary for you.
So you're threatening to commit necromancy and idolatry in vain repetition on my behalf. You need to trust in Jesus Christ alone. Jesus was and is the sufficient sacrifice, the propitiation of all sin. If you trust in him alone, then you will be saved. But right now you're trusting in yourself to do good enough. You're trusting in Mary and other fake angelic creatures to do things and mediate for you and intercede on your behalf. But Jesus is the one who intercedes. Jesus is the mediator. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through him. Now, I know that a lot of you like to say like, oh no, but no one goes to Jesus but through Mary. But that is absolutely unbiblical and disgusting, because you see in the Old Testament so many people going directly to Jesus, who is Yahweh, directly without Mary thousands of years before she was ever born.